back up in Vermont. Kind of let me get you caught up here. I tried to shoot this footage down on the Cape and lost that footage because it was just having a problem with this GoPro stuff. In the meantime, let's go ahead and introduce this. Welcome to another episode of Restoring Little Girl. This last trip to the Cape, it was really all about spending time with my mom for her 91st birthday. And we took a lot of time with her, and had to take her dog to the vet, and one thing and another, just a bunch of things that needed to get done, and also setting up so that it would be a very, very special birthday celebration for her 91st. But in the meantime, while I was down there, I also wanted to get a few things done as far as little girl was concerned. And first thing I had to do was, again, have to go pick up the mast and the boom off the ground because they had a very high windstorm down there. And anyway, that got done. But in the meantime, there were just two other things I tried to get done because the old tarp that had been on Little Girl for about the last 3 years was just shot all to pieces. I mean, holes in it and leaking like a sieve. It just was not protecting Little Girl. And with the bow cut the way it is, I wanted to make sure that she was covered properly. I didn't want any rain getting in anywhere. So went out and bought a new tarp up at Harbor Freight. Not a real good quality one, but it's going to get the job done for now. And made sure that I got that on the boat. Also, one of the things that I've been watching and kind of concerned about is that some rust has been showing up on the strap at the bottom end of the skeg that supports the bottom end of the rudder. And when I bought the boat and pulled those bolts initially, I mean, all of them were rusted, but one of them was so bad it was just down to just thread, just a fine amount of steel left at all inside that hole that goes through the skeg. And so I just was concerned. I was seeing a little bit of rust, so I decided I want to pull those bolts out of there and see where we're at with them. So that's another thing I did and checked them all out. And I'll just tell you this much. I'll let you see the rest of it when you watch the video. I'm going to go ahead and just leave those bolts out for the rest of the winter. Let everything dry out real good. We don't really have a problem with the skeg. It's good and hard. I mean, it's like a rock. So I'm not worried about it, but I just want to give it an opportunity for those holes. There's three holes, 3 bolts. I want to give it an opportunity for those to completely dry out before spring. And then when we get around to it, we'll rebed everything, probably put new bolts in, although we may not need to, and get that job done when spring rolls around. Anyway, with that, I'm going to let this video serve as an intro to the rest of the video. The intro that I lost initially because me and the GoPro don't get along very well, and even though I went to all the expense of buying it, so we shall see. All right, guys. Hey, welcome. Glad you're here, and I hope you enjoy this episode of Restoring Little Girl. Things straightened out again. This is 2 times in a row. Last time I was down here, the winds were 35 to 40. This time they're up to 65 mile an hour on the Cape, and that's just ridiculous. So, yeah, everything got knocked down. But I think what I'm going to do, you see how that's when it's laying right there? When it's up high at the full extent of it, it's real easy for the wind to knock it down. I think I'm going to actually put each of them like that on their side and keep the whole lower profile. Maybe that'll be less tempted to blow over. So I'm going to get started on this and show it to you when we're done. No biggie, I know. I just wanted to get this silly thing working so that the mass is up off the ground. Again, with the water and ice all collected down in my old tarp, and this is going to be gone shortly. So let's go ahead and empty this all out. You got to get the block of ice out of there first, and then empty the water. We're going to strip this old tarp off completely, and this thing's going bye-bye, and a brand new tarp is going on here by the time we're done. All right, we got the stinking tarp bailed out. Let's get this thing off of here. I'm so sick of this old piece of garbage. We put a brand new tarp on it. Amen. Done. All right, guys. Let's go ahead. Here we go. All right, guys. Done. Next step is get the new tarp out and lace it up. Get it put back on the boat the way it's supposed to. So, hey, old one's gone. It's the new tarp, and they call this heavy duty, but keep in mind this is from Harbor Freight, and this is at best medium duty. It's not heavy duty. It'll do. It'll do. I mean, the fact that it's whole and it doesn't have any holes in it, that's a biggie. First thing we're going to do is lace up for the bow, and we're going to do it just like we did my old brown tarp. We're going to take that end. Okay, that's the 30 feet like that way, and so we're going to take that end and that end, those two corner grommets, and lace them together, and then fold this in half, and then lace it just like you would shoestrings, I guess, the only way I know to say it, and that way your end is kind of laced together in a vertical fashion when it goes over the bow. So anyway, let me get started on that, and I'll see if I can show you doing this. But I mean, it's pretty simple, not a whole lot of complexity to this, but it really works well. It makes it easy to go lay vertically along the line of your bow, and then be able to take the bottom corner of it and just wrap it up over, and it fits nicely with the contour of the boat. So let me get started on that. So I don't want to pinch between the grommets, so I leave the length so that it stays about the same as it hangs. But then as I come up to the next set, I go through them, but then I wrap them back through, and then I go on up to the next set. That way they're kind of not just, it doesn't just pass through, it actually laces it together. And we're going to go on up to the next set. I'm hoping there's 7 grommets here, so it should be even. Yep, close. Not great. I don't think this is exactly a precision-made tarp. I don't think anybody was really measuring when they did this. But go through and lace together again. We're going to be pretty much done here in just a minute. Okay, that's the lace. And again, see, I'm not pulling on this line between them. I want the lace not to pucker the way that the two edges of the tarp are folded together. And at that point, I think we're just going to leave it. We're probably going to be lacing up onto the newer tarp up on the bow, but for right now we're pretty much done. There's no, I wish there was another set right here. When I had the bow pulpit, it didn't matter because this is as high as it needed to come. The bow pulpit filled this area here, but that's not the way anymore. So I'm having to just kind of end my lacing right here, and we'll get this up on there and see how it looks, and kind of make adjustments as needed. Down on this end here, I left myself a tail so that I could tie a rope onto it and pull it up over the top onto the deck, and pull this corner up and over to contour to the boat. But anyway, I think we're good to go. We're going to have take our next two lines. I'm going to take this off right here just a second. Yep. Okay. My next two lines, and attach one to the aft corner here, aft corner, port and starboard, and those are going to be drawn back over the boat. And so all of this comes vertical along the bow of the boat, and this goes half on each side of the boat. And then I use those lines attached to the back two corners to wrap around the back of the boat. You'll see. Anyway, so let's go ahead and get started on that. They're attached. This is just plain old clothesline rope. I've been doing this for 5 years, so I kind of get my own way of doing it, and other guys can do it their own way, I guess, but this is how I do it. See, the way that I've got this arranged now, that's got to go over the bow so that this is port, that's starboard. If I don't, I'm going to twist the whole thing, and I can't do that. So I'm going to go ahead and drag this all out right almost to the road so that I can get this all straightened out, and then pull it back evenly on each side, up and over, and we'll kind of go from there and get everything put in place and do some finalizing of the lace up. And yeah, at least we're going to have a new tarp over the boat. I got this up, and I'm going a side at a time. I walk around the back of the boat, pull one side, run around the back of the boat, pull the other side, until finally I get the lace up going up and down the bow. But for right now, it's just a long, slow process of, oh, we're tipping. A long, slow process of going back and forth and trying to get this thing to pull evenly all the way back. Keep going. It's a whole lot easier with two people doing this than it is one, but I'm making it work. Getting there. Almost to the lace up. Okay. A little bit more. good. It's kind of sagging because I don't have the bow pulpit up there to take up space, but at least we're to this point. It's all the way to the back. I'll be able to pull the lines around the end. We're just going to do some adjusting now, and we're going to be good to go. New tarp is on, and it's just a matter of refining it and putting some new lacings back and forth. I kind of lace the belly of it, lace the edges of it together all the way underneath the boat. So anyway, cool. That's the way we do it. That's the way I do it anyway. All right, well, keep in mind here, this was put brand new stainless steel bolts in 2 years ago before I launched. And when I took out the original bolts, this one right here, the middle one, was so rusted away that it literally was just a thread. Oh man, it was just barely hanging on between one side and the other side. So anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and pull them. You can see right here, you can see some rust stuff showing up here. And I just don't trust it. These are all stainless steel straps all the way around. You know, this is a U shape that goes all the way from here. It has like a pipe welded here, stainless steel pipe, and then my rudder post fits down into that stainless steel pipe, and that's what the whole thing pivots on, right? And that's fine. It works great. But anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and pull these bolts, and once I pull them, I'm probably going to just let them be out till spring. In the first place, it's cold enough to where it's not going to be practical to try to bed these or rebed these in the middle of the winter here. Well, there they are, clean and pristine, not a spot of rust anywhere on them. So it's not a rust problem. There's apparently no water getting in, because I mean they didn't show any sign at all of moisture even being in the hole. I think the bedding I put in was just the right amount, and it kept everything out. But just to be safe, we're going to go ahead and leave these out, let everything dry out in the bolt holes, and we should be good till we put these back in the spring and rebed everything. I think what's happening, I think I figured it out, why we're seeing a little weeping of rust. I think it's from those old bolts that were in there, and there's still rust residue in those bolt holes, even though the holes are solid. I mean, that skeg is just solid as a rock. And I think what happens over a period of time, that residue of the rust that was in those holes is kind of seeped out to the surface. And anyway, good news, there is no problem with these bolts. No rust, and apparently no water seepage into the skeg, so we're good to go. Awesome. Now I got to get this boat put to bed, and my mom's birthday party is going to be in about an hour. One last thing, my mom is turning 91 today, so we're rejoicing that my mom is still around at 91, as my dad is too. And Dad's got some problems with dementia, but we love it that my mom is just awesome, totally with it at 91 years old. Love her all to pieces. We're getting ready to head back this morning. Boat is all secured, new tarp is on, and yeah, we got the masses all back up where it belongs. And let's see, what else did we do? Oh, check those bolts, and those are all good for go. And next time we're down, we're just gonna have to get some more projects together. But for this trip, hey, this is all about my mom's 91st birthday, and it was a wonderful, wonderful time last night. She was getting calls and texts all day yesterday, wishing her happy birthday, and love my mom, 91 years old, and just precious. She's an amazing woman. Looks after my dad all the time, and hey, all right, enough on that. All right, God bless you guys, and thanks for stopping by Restoring a Little Girl. We'll catch you on the next time down.